Hey there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. This is a show where we feature a recipe each day that's super healthy, delicious, and easy, because I want to help you make plant-based living simple and fun. That's my specialty. So today is no exception. Today's Wednesday after all, #Wellness Wednesday. And also, it's on Wednesdays, we actually feature dinner recipes straight from my cookbook. Now, I write a new monthly Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook, and this is the September issue 2. I'm super excited. This is hot off the press. And today, we're going to be making green jackfruit tacos. If you've never had jackfruit, this is definitely a perfect recipe to introduce you to this magical fruit. So let's get right into it. And if you have any questions along the way, I can see you and I can see who's here. So just say hello and drop your question in the comment box and I'll get to it. All right, so let's get started. The first thing that we want to do is we want to make our green chili jackfruit sauce and jackfruit saute right in our pot. Now, this recipe is actually a whole food recipe, meaning it doesn't contain any oil. To saute our veggies and our jackfruit and our green chili sauce, we're actually going to use water. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to get your pot on a medium-high heat, and I'll do a split screen here so that you can follow along with me. Hey, if you want to cook with me, please do so. All right, my script, I'll do a little half-seas so that you can see. All right, right now, I want to showcase the first thing. We need to prepare the vegetables and the jackfruit. So first things first, we need to prepare and slice up a potato. And I'm going to use a russet potato today. This is going to add a starch element to your jackfruit tacos. It's going to thicken this sauce. It's going to thicken the jackfruit mixture. And it's going to be really meaty-like when you add a russet potato. The other thing that we're going to add is a yellow onion. So the first thing that I want to do is prepare my yellow onion. And I'm going to just dice this into pieces. You can slice it, you can dice it, it doesn't matter. Make it easy and make it fun, right? That's my MO. And I love making things really just kind of as easy as possible in the kitchen. I think it invites you back into the kitchen for the next meal. So if you get really used to making things simple and fun, you'll want to do it again. All right, so here's how I'm going to dice up my onion. I'm going to take it, I'm going to split it in half and take out that outer skin. Then I'm going to take my palm and open my hand and place my palm right over the top of the onion. And then I'm going to start by making these plank incisions all the way to the end, but not directly through. So let me show you here what I mean. I'll lift it up here in a second. So now what you have are these amazing planked pieces. See that? Now grab your piece of onion and then do a quarter turn and then actually slice it perpendicular. And then come back to the original position and slice it again. You end up making perfectly diced onions. And with this mixture, that can go right into the pot. Hopefully we're not going to have another crying episode like we did yesterday. That was super embarrassing. And it ruined my makeup. All right, the next piece of onion, the next half. Do it again. This works for red onion, white onion, yellow onion. It works for apples, root vegetables too. Anything that's hard that you can actually maneuver or secure under your palm. It is like a bulbous or a rounded shape, just like an onion would work. Throw that right in. And you want to use one small to medium onion. Don't use a big, giant jumbo onion because it will end up being too onion flavored. All right, the next thing that we want to do is actually take this potato, and I'm using a russet. I've cleaned it. I've scrubbed it for all the clean police out there. Thank you so much for the good watch. And this is looking really good. If your potato has any like little tiny roots that are starting to sprout, just go ahead and remove them with a little paring knife. But this one looks perfect. And I'm using russet because it's the most starchy of all the potatoes, and it's sort of going to melt away. So it's perfect because it's going to be hidden, and I want to kind of hide it. It's okay to know that there's a little potato, but I don't want this to be like a potato taco. I want it to be more like a jackfruit taco with something that's playing, you know, something that's playing the second part that's going to like really kind of add a wonderful starchy and sort of round mouth feel, okay? I suppose you could use sweet potato as well. It's not going to give you as much starch. It will give you more fiber though, and it's certainly going to give you more antioxidants. So that could be an option. Yeah, let's do a question. Sure. All right, this is from Christy. Hi, Christy. Hi, is there anything other than jackfruit that would work? I'm sadly allergic. Yeah, I've heard of this Some people are allergic to jackfruit. All right, so let me think about this for a second. If you can't have jackfruit, let's think about all the things that are kind of similar in texture. Jackfruit has a very soft kind of fruit-like texture because it's a fruit after all. That makes sense, right? So I would say for you, there's a couple things that you could do. The first thing that comes to mind is definitely going to be tofu, because that's going to break down. It's going to be a neutral flavor, just like the jackfruit is. The next thing that I would say, oh, we lost my heat. Hang on, Christy. Yeah, the next thing that I would say would be, I would say actually do something like either a sweet potato, russet potato mixture with a lot more chili powder added. And then my next offering would be, I think I'm going like mushrooms, like button mushrooms or portobello mushrooms, something that's going to be able to give you that like chewiness, that texture feel that is just kind of quite terribly missing with just potatoes alone. So think of it that way. It won't be exactly like the jackfruit, because jackfruit is known to kind of string or pull, just like pulled meat. But if you use like button mushrooms or cremini mushrooms and you dice them like really tiny pieces, you're going to have a meaty texture that's going to be met well with the starchy potato. So I hope that helps. All right, the next thing. The group has a suggestion. Christy, try mangoes. Brooke, thank you so much for that. Mangoes would be great, although it would be a very starchy, very sweet taco, but you could try a mango. All right, moving on. I want a little bit of water. Remember, we're not using oil to this, so I'm going to add 1/4 cup of filtered water. And now I'm going to bring the heat up all the way to a high heat. Thank you, Brooke, for your suggestion. I'm glad that you're here. Give this a good mix. Now I'm going to add some garlic as well. I want 2 cloves of garlic, which I have here. And I want to go ahead and prepare this by giving it a whack with my chef's knife and then running it over through the garlic press. And I do this so that we can actually make sure to like remove all those great antibacterial, antifungal properties. You can also mince this by hand or in a food processor. That's perfect. All right, the next thing that we need is the diced tomatoes and the seasoning. So I'm going to use 1 14-ounce can of diced organic tomatoes. I'm going to throw this right in. Now I'm doing this very quick for you so that I can get you in and out of this episode so that you can be on to making it on your own. But here is the diced tomatoes that I use. This is a can. It is labeled USDA organic, and that's really important. There is the label right there. Remember, in the U.S., our tomatoes are GMO modified, genetically modified organisms. 90% of the crops are here in the U.S. So make sure to get USDA organic. Very, very important. And then let's talk about our seasoning. I'm going to add a couple things for seasoning. I'm going to add some gloves now because the seasoning might be a little spicy. The first thing that I'm going to add are green chilies. Now, these are a little tiny 4-ounce can of green chilies. It's right here. You can see 4 ounces. It's usually a half can. Really, really good stuff. They're actually pickled. So they're Hatch chilies, which are really wonderful green chilies. They're wonderful, flavorful. They perfectly are roasted, and they're pickled in a brine. This is like a salt and vinegar mixture. Really good stuff. Okay, I'm going to add my chilies right to this. And now I want to prep my, I want to add my seasoning. So for seasoning, you can add anything that you want. I'm going to use taco seasoning mix. Here's the actual mix that I use. And really, this is just combination of garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, cayenne pepper, chili powder. All of it is mixed together. I want 1 tablespoon of this, okay? I'm going to throw that right in. And this I got from Trader Joe's. So good to know that they sell it at Trader Joe's. Let me tell you, this absolutely will beat the Lawry's seasoning. Remember the old Lawry's seasoning? It was like a taco seasoning pack. It was white. That had a lot of, it had MSG, monosodium glutamate. It also had some high fructose corn syrup that was powdered. So we want to get something that has no preservatives whatsoever, just the spices. Very, very important. So this is going to work hard. That's a kitchen term for like it's going to start to actually bubble away. And in order for this to just go a little faster, I'm going to cover it with my pot cover as I actually prepare the jackfruit with you. All right. And I'll add the jackfruit at the midpoint. Let's talk about jackfruit now. All right. Love jackfruit. It's like so great. Green jackfruit in brine. This is actually packed in a water brine mixture. It's really good stuff. The first thing that you want to do is you actually want to make sure that all of the water has been removed. So I'm going to do that now. I've done most of that, but I wanted to show you some of the water that is still intact. Can you go back to the other screen, Danny? All right, so let me show you. It looks like regular liquid, like bean liquid, except for that doesn't have any like sugar or salt. It's actually pretty, it has a little salt. It doesn't have any sugar, so it does not get bubbly. You know how the bean liquid sometimes can get bubbly? The jackfruit won't do that, but you definitely want to drain the brine. You don't want to use it. Now let's talk about this. This is such a wonderful fruit. Now, jackfruit is called a multiple fruit. The reason being is because when it grows like this, all right? So each of the flower sort of sections has within itself a little stem root and then a bunch of these shredded pieces where we're going to shred now. Now, I'm going to first take the root part off, all right? You can literally just peel it off with your thumb. Peel it off, and then you can chop it up later if you want to use these pieces, but I actually really think I'll leave them out because I really want this to be as shredded as possible. And you're not wasting a whole lot. It's just the base. It's just the end. You can see I'm doing this with gloves because it makes it so much easier. All right, so I'm just pulling this little piece off. Again, I'll show you, let me show you up close. That's the piece that you want to pull off. One more time, that one kind of fell apart. See this part that doesn't have any of the, yeah, there we go, camera. And I pulled it off. And you're left with basically all the shredded bits. All right, and you can do this with you can actually mash this together. You can do it with your, sorry, you can actually shred this with your fingers, or you can shred it with 2 forks. But I think it's really easy to do it with your fingers, and actually you can be more precise. All right, so all the little bits on the end are taken off. Yes, yes. Now, all we have to do is take the rest of the pieces, and we literally want to open them up. And when you open them up, you're left with these shredded pieces. Now, if you didn't know it, this actually would look like a piece of meat. Like if I didn't tell you, this could look like a total meat substitute, and it will taste just like a total meat substitute. If you've never had this before, you're going to be totally pleasantly surprised. It doesn't taste like fruit really at all. It does in the raw form, but once you cook it down, especially with chili spices and onions and things like that, all of a sudden it really gains a meaty texture and flavor. I get my jackfruit brook from Trader Joe's. Thank you for the question. This is available, everything actually, on my cooking grocery lists that I provide for the weeks before all of the recipes. I provide a grocery list. That grocery list is going to be a comprehensive list of all of the ingredients that you're going to need for all of the recipes within each week of the cookbook. It's a month-long cookbook, so you're going to get recipes throughout the entire month. And every ingredient can be found at Trader Joe's. I do that intentionally because I believe that Trader Joe's is really kind of wonderful. You can get everything there 30% less than you can at other retailers, other supermarkets. So I really like to spend. I spend a lot of money on groceries, so I have to actually make sure I'm not blowing my bank every single time I go. They even have psyllium husks at Trader Joe's, and protein powder that's plant-based, and plant-based butter and things like that. All of these things that you would not really think that they would carry, but they do, because I've checked it out. So just in case you're wondering. So now look at this jackfruit, right? This looks like shredded turkey or chicken or pork. This looks fantastic. And this is perfect. It's about 9 ounces after the brine liquid has been removed from the can. You have about 9 ounces of the meat. And I think I'll let go of the rest of it and put that in my compost, as it's still organic material. All right, I'm gonna put this aside. Let me check on my amazing potato mixture here. Oh my gosh, let's do an overhead cam. Can you see this? Yeah, you can. This smells so good. All right, so I went ahead and I diced these potatoes pretty small. I also diced the onions pretty small so that this could work fast. It could cook down and saute pretty easily and pretty fast. I'm going to go ahead and add my jackfruit now. Just add it right in. If there's a little juice that's left, pour that in as well. And one of the things that will really help this cook down and even break down even more, break down the jackfruit and the potato, is a little lemon juice. So I'm going to add a little lemon juice right now, about 2 tablespoons, so 1/2 of this lemon. And I'm going to prepare it by kind of just rolling it along my cutting board And as soon as I do that, I can already feel the difference. This lemon is now like super soft and ready for juicing. It's a really great trick. Do that, especially for the hard citrus. Like if you get a lemon that's out of season, lemon is kind of like, we use lemon all throughout the year, but there's definitely a season for it. And it's not right now, it's the winter. So during the summer months, you can sometimes get citrus that's like a little hard, just roll it. I even heard that you can put it in the microwave. I don't use the microwave all that often though, so I don't do that. But you certainly could. I've heard that people have done that. So about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, that goes right in. This looks really great. And we didn't use any oil, remember? So this is all just kind of natural juices from the tomato as well as the onion. Now, I think at this point we need to season this up, which I have right here. Just a little bit of sea salt. And a little bit of cracked black pepper, I think is really, really important. So I'm going to use just a little bit of this cracked black pepper that I really love. Highly recommend. Don't get pre-ground black pepper, please. I had to take a little pause and breather before I said that because I don't understand why people buy pre-ground pepper. I know that there's a convenience factor, but you're losing everything else. You're losing the macro and the micronutrients within the pepper. But most importantly, and I'm speaking from a chef's perspective now, you're also losing the amazing aroma, the dynamic aroma that you can get from fresh cracked black pepper. It's almost floral-like when you can keep your black peppercorns fresh and use it as needed. It's good. All right, I'm gonna cover this. Let's get our garnishes ready for our taco, all right? So let me clear the decks here. I'm going to use a couple different things for garnishes. The first thing that I need are tortillas, of course. I'm gonna use a mixture of corn and wheat tortillas. They look like corn tortillas, but they're a little bit more chewy and they're a little bit more dense because of the wheat that's added. Now, this recipe, this mixture itself, the jackfruit, is actually totally gluten-free and it's whole food. So you can actually make this recipe completely gluten-free if you just have whole 100% corn tortillas, all right? I'm, though, gonna have just a little bit of gluten in mine. All right, so I want some garnishes. The first thing that I want are some beautiful tomatoes. It's the perfect time for tomatoes right now, the end of summer, September. This is where you can get beautiful tomatoes that have just been working and growing and becoming and blossoming into the best tomato version of themselves all summer long. And these are early girls. I highly, highly, highly recommend getting an early girl tomato if you can get your hands on it. I got these from Trader Joe's. They are all USDA organic. They're grown in Los Cabos, very close to where I got married last October and November. And they're beautiful. They're like basically these dark tomatoes tomatoes that are picked sort of right before they get fully mature. And in doing so, you capture the really beautiful color as well as that skin. The skin stays just beautifully thin. And then the flavor is really, really super sweet. So I'm just going to pull off the top. It's really great too, because usually the early girls, they actually come, you don't have the overhead. They come with the top still intact. So that's going to make this tomato be super juicy. I'm going to grab a serrated knife for this because it just makes the job a lot easier. And I'm just going to slice it up. I want little dices of tomato. So once I slice it, I can then dice it. I'm going to keep the skins and the seeds intact. If you're someone that doesn't like the skins or the seeds, of course you could peel your tomato, but remember, you're going to lose some of the flavor and some of the fiber, most importantly. I just read a statistic the other day in Integrative Nutrition magazine that Americans, specifically 90% of Americans, are deficient in the amount of fiber that we need, the daily recommended amounts of fiber. That is crazy to me. And what that is telling us when we read that is that most Americans do not get enough fruits and vegetables in their diet. It really comes down to those two elements, fruits and vegetables. And while those are not all of the elements that we need on a plant-based diet, we also eat the legumes, the beans, the pulses, the tubers, the root vegetables, the seeds, the nuts, all of these other things, and sometimes the oils. We actually need mostly the fruits and vegetables. That's where a lot of the fiber and the antioxidants are going to be. Of course, there's fiber and antioxidants and all the other elements, categories of foods that I just mentioned, but the powerhouses are the fruits and the veggies. All right, I'm also going to just dice up or slice really thin, actually, bits of this beautiful radish. And I love these radishes. I keep them in water. I keep the little tail on as well because it's gorgeous. Ooh, that's definitely going to be Instagram worthy. Quality control. So good. All right. I also want some scallions. I'm going to use these beautiful, huge scallions. I've washed these. I'm going to snip off the ends. The ends are going to go into the compost. And for this, you can use the white or the green. I think I'm actually going to use just a bit of the white. And I'm going to make sure to get this as thin as possible. This is just for garnish. Remember, we already used a full onion, a medium-sized onion. So this is just going to sort of like kick it up a tiny bit more. And then, of course, an avocado, a Hass avocado. You've got to have it. Let's do a full screen. Yeah. Let me show you this. All right, you can just open it up by rolling your chef's knife around the perimeter or the edges and then giving this a twist. And when you do that, it pops kind of off really easily because of all the fat in this beautiful fruit. So now I'm just going to take this pit out, seed or pit, just by kind of grabbing it with my knife and then making sure that it comes out completely. And I can do dices or I can do slices. One of my favorite ways to dice an avocado is right in the shell or the skin. So I'm very carefully using my chef knife to make these marks, these slice marks, but not going all the way through. And then the other direction. So this is going to be a diced. All right, you guys, we are nearly there. I'm about to plate. Let's check on this jackfruit. Oh, I'm getting a jackfruit facial right now. Yum. Yes. This looks so good. I need to throw in some fresh cilantro just right at the end here. Let me grab that now and then we'll plate. And I love to keep my cilantro in my refrigerator inside or just kept in a vase here with water, just like that. There we go. And I'm just going to take a little bit off, literally just going to use my kitchen knives, scissors, knives, and snip it. And then I'm going to snip it right into the jackfruit pot. Snip it right in. Oh, you didn't see that. Sorry about it. There we go. And then this is going to go right back into the refrigerator because that will weep because it's super hot in here. And I just want to kind of kiss this jackfruit potato onion mixture with the cilantro. It's going to really brighten it up. I'm going to just test this and make sure. Is it ready? Almost. Not quite. We can't quite go yet. I'm just going to add a little bit more water. I can tell the potatoes just need like one hot more second, but covered. Now's a great time if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you. Also, have you tried any of the recipes this month out of the cookbook? I know many of you have purchased it already. Thank you so much. It's been fun to see like who's purchasing, how people interact. I get a lot of messages every day with people saying, oh my God, I love this recipe. Or I did this differently to this recipe and it really and my whole family loved it. Nobody knew it was plant-based until I told them and my entire life has changed. And I'm like, woo, yeah. I'm so excited every day to read your emails. It's just a blast. Like where Danny and I are like waking up every day and we're like, yes, we get to go back to work. Very happy. We're living a happy life. Thank you. It's not always been this way. And so I'm very grateful. I want to say hi, who is here? Hi, Christy. Hi, Brooke. Hi, Marie. Hi, Ryan. Good to see everyone. All right, so we have everything done. Let me grab my plate. This is just really going to take another second, I think, just to make sure those potatoes are super tender. Let's see, what plate do I want to use? I think I'm going to go this plate here. A couple things that I want to mention. I'm already writing my cookbook for October. We have gotten a few requests from people about things that like flavors and things that they want to see in the next cookbook. So I'm very excited for that. And yeah, it's an ongoing process of testing, developing, making sure that I'm providing exactly what you guys want, which are super easy, healthy, and delicious recipes. That is the key I think we keep coming back to. Because I think cooking is easy it's just that we end up complicating it. And, chefs don't help in the matter. Chefs really complicate things for people. They like intentionally sometimes, and I'm speaking as a chef, right? We intentionally, I'm not going to put myself in this category. Chefs that make things complicated I feel like are doing that because they sort of want to like keep you out of the club. And you know what? I want you in the club. I want you to like be a part of this kitchen club. I want you to enjoy yourself in the kitchen. I want you to feel confident in the kitchen and competent. I often say that because I mean it. I think there's a really big difference when people like start to really embody being in the kitchen and they love it. And it's like fun for them and fun for their family. And it's a part of their everyday routine. Something changes, right? Something really changes. All right. Decks are clear. I need a spoon for this. I'll use this one. And we are ready to plate. Please be ready. Please be ready. Please be ready.
Christy has a comment.
Oh, let's see. Christy says, I'm most excited for November. I can't wait to see what you create that will work well for Thanksgiving. Christy, I know. I'm really excited about this too. As some of you already know, I actually recently became plant-based. So the whole reason that Plant-Based Made Easy was born was because I was inspired to take you along on my journey and to create a space for you as I'm creating it for my own self and my own family. And in doing so, I've convinced my mom, my dad, my stepmom, my stepdad, my grandma, my Auntie Ree, and many other family members and close friends to consider trying on a plant-based diet. And all the people I just mentioned now have gone plant-based 100% after just 30 days of trying it. And so that was sort of the impetus for developing this. And it's going to be my first holiday season as a plant-based person. So I'm really looking forward to like figuring out how can I actually make a holiday still festive and fun and flavorful without feeling like I'm missing anything. So I have some very special things in store for you that I really think that you're gonna love. So stay tuned. Thank you for that. All right, I truly think this is done. I'm just gonna test the potato just to make sure. You gotta give it a little taste test. It's so good. Now, taste at this point. You can add more water if need be, but just remember the russet potatoes, you want them to stay kind of whole. You don't want them to break down all the way because what you'll end up with is a very mushy mixture. Just want them to break down a little bit. And at this point, it's a really great time to sort of taste for seasoning. So I need to add a little bit more sea salt. I can taste that immediately. And I think I'm also going to add a little bit more freshly ground black pepper. And if you wanted to also just increase the heat or the savoriness, you can add more garlic. You can add garlic powder, onion powder. All of these are really easy ways to finish off a dish, especially if everything is already cooked. So garlic powder, onion powder would be your friend here. And then any more fresh herbs that you like. Okay, this looks great. All right, I'm going to stop this. I'm now just going to plate my taco. First, the tortilla goes down. Now, I didn't mention this before, but I did just shred up some organic romaine. I cleaned this. I've shredded it. I shredded it really thin. And I want this to be the bed. Let's do a tortilla question. Did you make your own tortillas? No, Carla, I didn't this time, but I will in a future episode so that I can show you. Very easy to do. All you need is corn masa and a tortilla press or a rolling pin. All right, so that's going to go down. You can use any greens that you want. Dark leafy greens are great. I'm going to use a little bit of tomato next. I'll probably do tomato on the top and the bottom. I want to make sure that this has a bed to rest on, right? Because this mixture here, the jackfruit, the potato, all of this, it's quite chunky. The fresh tomato and the cooked tomato combo is also very nice. So I hope that you like that. And just fill it up. I would, of course, let it cool off a little bit before adding to the tortilla and to build your taco. But I want you to see how it's built right from the pot. Maybe some radishes. Radishes, I just kind of like scoot around, and you see, right? There's like still a little bit of the top intact. That's okay. That's all edible still. Throw that on. Definitely some cubed aguacate or avocado. love, my favorite. Have I mentioned that avocados are my favorite? I'm laughing because I think that if you've been to any of the episodes or seen me cook before, like Mexican cuisine or flavors, you know that I love the avocado. I'm obsessed. I even have avocado clothing. All right. This looks beautimous. So good. Now you could add a little bit of hot sauce. You could add a little hot sauce mixed with mayo, vegan mayo, but I'm going whole food plant-based. That means no oil for me today. I'm following in my mother's footsteps, who said she was not doing any oil this week. I'm just gonna try it out. Look at this taco. This is a green chili jackfruit taco from my new cookbook, September issue 2, Plant-Based Made Easy, coming at you right now. If you want to download it, the link is right in the comment box. And I'm going to give this a taste.
Me too.
I'm going to take a bite first. Okay, Danny? You're going to like this, Danny. Man, is that good. Kind of fell apart.
Do I get some?
Yep.
It looks good.
I'm going to eat the fallen bits.
Yeah. Uh-oh. It is falling.
Kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
Get in there, D Green. He's going to love it. He's going to love it. What do you think?
It's super fresh. Hold on. The romaine, the tomato, the avocado, but mixed with this gives it that like really freshness. Do you think about using the tortilla, like getting the crispy tortilla a little bit? Or you don't have enough burners?
I didn't want the people to wait too long.
Makes sense.
But I would totally griddle your tortilla first.
Yeah.
Thanks for mentioning. I would do it though, and hold it in a tortilla warmer. You know the one that we have that we got from Little Mexico in Los Angeles? Get one of those. They're like styrofoam, and you can actually keep your tortillas warm, but definitely griddle it, and it won't fall apart as much. But I love that you picked up on the freshness.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's super fresh.
Definitely.
Perfect for September. Thanks for tasting.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope that you guys like this recipe. I hope that you try it. And if you try it and you like it, will you let me know? Let a sister know, because I spend a lot of time developing these things. And I really want to hear from you. I want to know, how did you change it up? What did your family think, or your friends? Please send us a DM. Send me a message in the comment box or anywhere, especially in our Facebook page, Plant-Based Made Easy. You guys, we're 1,000 people strong, and we're growing every day. Danny and I are so grateful. Seriously, we are like pinching ourselves because of this experience that we're developing and on with you as we go through it ourselves. So thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your day with us for this 45 minutes or so, 32 minutes. Please come back tomorrow, because I'm actually going to make a very special recipe for all of our Englanders that are a part of our community. We have quite a lot of people that are visiting or part of our community from London and the United Kingdom. So tomorrow I'm going to make a quick and easy sausage roll. All right. I've never had a sausage roll. I know a little bit about it. Yes, I visited London, but I didn't partake because sausage kind of freaks me out. But now I found a plant-based, a vegan version, and it's quick, it's easy, and it's so delicious. So come back for that. And until then, I'll see you next time. Peace out.